Hey guys, today I'm going to show you a method that I use to make over 50,000 equus in under 10 minutes by flipping past horses. Flipping horses just means that you go into the sales, you buy a horse for hopefully a fairly cheap price, and then you resell it for a higher price to make a profit on it. Flipping past horses in particular, when I do this, I will go into the sales, I will buy a horse around potential past horse age. For me, that means like at least 25 or something, hopefully older depending on the price. I'll age it up to 30, which is instant past horse age, and then I'll put it back in the sales for a higher price. The good thing about the pass horse economy is that pass horses are always in demand. They're really easy to sell. They get picked up very quickly. I never have to worry about a horse sitting there for more than 30 minutes as long as I price it fairly enough. Obviously, if you want, you can try to flip other horses like coats for the trophies, just horses that maybe you buy up that are foals and then you do full games with them or you train them or whatever. But pass horses are they're a guaranteed sell that way. I just like it because it's a guaranteed way to quickly sell the horse and get it off your hands and make some money off of it. The only downfall with this though is that it will require the use of aging points. I usually spend around 30 aging points on when I do this because I end up buying horses that are around like 25 years of age because that's the best deal, and they're usually at least 100,000 already, if not more, so you will need some equus already. However, it's so easy to make equus on this game now, especially with exchanges. If you have 10 days on the game or if you have access to the exchanges or whatever, if you get one good item like Aphrodite's Tears, Zeus's Lightning Bolt, even something like a black orchid or a piece of cloud or a water of youth, those will sell for like around 100,000 easily all the time. Just stick one of those up in the exchanges and you make an easy 100k right there. But this will just focus on flipping pass horses. What I'm going to do first, I'm going to go in and I'm going to actually look to see what the instant pass horses are selling for. Instant pass horses to me are those that are 30 years old. They're ready to be sent off to heaven. We need to set our search to not immortal. We don't want them to have philosopher's stones because if they have a philosopher's stone on them, they can't die and they're not pass horses. Set the pass search equal to 0. I'm not paying any passes for these guys, and the age is at least 30. We're going to hit search. Now I'm going to click the price button so that we can filter to see the lowest prices first. Right now, pass sources on international are going for 190,000. That seems to be pretty normal lately. They've been anywhere from like 180 to 199. This is a really good market for players who have extra pass horses that, they want to sell off every month. It's a really good market if you're selling them, not so much if you're buying them. That's why I don't buy instant pass horses anymore. I just age them up myself. This means that when I go to put a horse up in the sales, I could put it up for 190. That way then it's a competitive price, or I might put it up for like 1,000 or 2,000 cheaper. This means that this is what we're going to want to base what our profit's going to be. We're just going to say 190,000. This is what we would probably sell the horse for. All right, now we're going to search for horses older than 25 to see what they are going for. Okay, this is sweet right here. If you look at this, You've got this 26-year-old in 8 months and this 26-year-old in 6 months. Both of these horses are 115, where all the other horses that are higher priced than this, look at that. That one's 26 years old, same age, just a little bit, a few months younger, but it's actually much more expensive. This right here is a much better deal. 190,000, the difference between that and 115 is so much more than 140. You're going to make a huge profit on this. I'm definitely going to buy these two. I'm going to go buy these two. However, even though you could just click buy from here, I very much recommend that you actually go and look at the health of any horse that's older than 25. There's been a few times where I grabbed the horse right away and I picked it up. I didn't look at the health first, and the health was much lower than what it should have been for its age, maybe because it was, I don't know, underweight, overweight, or had gone to bed a few times without being groomed or something, and it died before it hit 30, and I wasted like over 100,000. I was really upset about that. Okay, the health looks okay. We're gonna go ahead. Oh, I have to sell some wheat bran first, I guess. Oops. Okay, we're gonna sell some wheat bran. Just gonna sell a whole bunch. I'm gonna need more than that. That works. Okay, refresh the page. I'm going to buy that, and I'm going to buy this one. Hope that's not the same one. Okay, so we bought our two 26-year-old horses. That's these horses right here. I opened them in a new tab, which is why they're still showing. Okay, these horses are gone. Let's look for like a trickier example, because this one was really obvious one of like, oh my gosh, these are cheaper and they're about the same age as these other ones, it makes much more sense to buy these two. Let's say these two weren't in here, or maybe we have more equus to spend and we want to look to buy more horses. Let's look at what's a good one? What's a good example here? Well, this one here, these two, it's like an obvious example. This horse is 27 years and 8 months, priced at 150,000, whereas this horse here is 26 years old. It's younger, and it's actually more expensive. It's priced at 165,000. There, I would not recommend bothering to buy this 26-year-old horse because you're going to have to use more aging points and you're not going to make as big of a profit on it because the difference between 190,000 and 150,000 is much more than the difference between 190 and 165. This 27-year-old horse would definitely be the better deal. Now let's look at maybe like this one. This one is actually a trickier example, even more so. This 26-year-old horse, 26 years and 6-month-old horse that's priced 140,000 versus this 27-year-old and 6-month horse priced at 150,000. Now, let's say that like you're guaranteed that the horse is going to sell for 190,000. Maybe you could sell it for more. I don't know. Let's just say you know that you're going to sell it for 190,000. This horse here, this one that's 26 years old and however many months, will make you 50,000 versus this 27-year-old horse that's only going to make you 40,000. Think about whether or not your aging points are more valuable to you than your equus. I have a lot of aging points because I really don't blow up that much. I'm not involved with any team, so my aging points are mine to do with what I want. My aging points just aren't worth as much as my equus because I have so much. I would rather spend a few extra aging points on this horse that's 26 years old just because it's 10,000 cheaper. I don't really want to bother throwing down 10,000 more equus to buy this horse just to save some aging points. However, that's up to you. If you don't have that many aging points, or maybe you like to conserve your aging points right now, maybe it would be more worthwhile to you to buy this 27-year-old horse that's 10,000 more, but you're going to save some aging points that way. There's no right or wrong way to do this. I mean, obviously you want to make money on it. So long as you're making some money, whether or not it's like 1,000, 10,000 equus, whatever, you're winning. But to me, I personally don't bother doing this unless I'm going to make at least 50,000. If I'm going to spend the few minutes to look for a horse to buy it and age it up, I want to make at least 50,000 equus. Like, let's look at one more example, like this horse here. This horse is 27 years old and 4 months, and it cost 180,000. Remember when we looked, those 30-year-old horses were selling for 190,000? This definitely, to me, is not worth it. You're spending, what is that? 20 aging points, I don't know, something like that. You're spending more than 10 aging points just to make 10,000 equus if you're guaranteed to sell this horse at 190,000. To me, that's not worth it. Now, just also one last thing, what I advise doing, let's say, so all these horses that we looked at earlier, those 30-year-olds, let's put the 30-year-old price in just so we can see them. So there's like a ton of them listed for 190, 195. That's been pretty consistent lately. Let's say, for example, that in the time it's taking you to age up a few horses, that someone goes, they flood the sales with a bunch of horses that are 180,000. So you've got like a whole page listing of 30-year-old horses priced at 180,000, and the horses that you bought you plan on selling for 190. That drops your profit down because the lowest pass horses are now selling for 185,000. What I advise doing, if you're not in a crunch and you don't care how long it takes you to sell the horses, I would just sit on them, wait a couple hours, wait a day or two to see if the prices go up, because if those horses are about 15,000 cheaper than the rest of them, or 10,000 cheaper or whatever, they're going to get bought up pretty quick and the prices are going to jump back up. And that's also kind of why I don't recommend buying or selling. If you're selling horses, don't list a whole bunch of them up at once if they're really valuable type of horses. I get, like, if they're just like little foals or something that aren't really worth anything, they're just good for like AP farming, then it's not a big deal. But I wouldn't advise selling a whole lot of like 30-year-olds at once. I just sell mine like maybe 2 at a time. Then once those sell, I'll go back up a few minutes later and I'll post a few more. Because like the other week I bought like, I think 10 at once or something within a few minutes time, and they were all ready to sell at once. I did that. I just put them up in there about two at a time. That way then I don't flood the market, because what happens if you flood the market with a bunch of horses that are really similar in stats, like a bunch of 30-year-old horses, the prices are just going to drop because there's so many people will want to drop their own prices so that their horses will get bought up. It's just really bad for a seller's market. It's good if you're a buyer, but it's bad if you're a seller. But hopefully that wasn't too confusing. I just decided to do this last minute because it was a method that I jumped back into using again recently. It's really good to make money really quickly. You don't always make a whole lot. Sometimes if you're lucky, depending on how much the horse cost you, I can make 100,000 on a pass horse. I like selling the pass horses because it's a guaranteed sell and you don't usually have to sit on them in the sales for too long. But hopefully that made semi sense. Hopefully that was helpful to you guys. Let me know if this works out for you, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.